As a family of 6 that travels full-time and who tries to do it economically as possible, each person carries one backpack, and we have one duffel bag that we check, and that's it. So you can see when you take just, 4 more backpacks here, everything we travel with as a family of 6 would fit basically in a bathtub. So everything we choose to travel with, we have to give very careful consideration to. And in this video, we're going to share with you the 15 or so games that we travel with, and at the end, my wife is going to share with you why she chose several of those games to augment our kids' schooling.
This game is called Rumble in the Dungeon, and I like this game because you can roleplay. This game is like a ping pong game to go, and I like it because you can, with all the other games you don't use your energy, but this one you can use your energy. This one I like it because it's not normal tic-tac-toe, but you can eat the other players, basically. This one is fun because you can play it with a lot of people, and it's just a really good family game. This one is really fun, Tanagram, because you can use your imagination for the constellations. And Yahtzee is fun because it's not too long, it's not too short, and I like games with dice. Bye.
This game is Corkle, and I really like it because you have to use strategy. This game is Listography, and I really like it because I get to use my imagination to name things. This one is Happy Little Accidents, and I like it because I love art and you can draw. This one is called Spot It, and I like it because you have to be very vigilant. This one is called Doodle Dash, and it's really cool because you also get to draw. This one is my favorite, and it's called Clue Suspect, and you have to be very vigilant and you have to strategize. Bye!
This game is called Twangle, and I like it because you gotta work together. This game is called Phase 10, and you can play with a lot of people, and it's really fun. This game is called Uno Flip, and you can play on both sides of the cards. This one's called Push 10, and if you push too far, you have to roll. This one is called No Tanks, and it's really fun. You can play with a lot of people. This one is called Matchstick, and it's super fun. And the strongest card is the orange. Bye.
Okay, so now that you've heard why the kids like the games that we have brought with us on this trip, I'm gonna spend just a few minutes explaining why I picked these games and how they help us actually in school with the kids. So let's start with Doodle Dash and Happy Little Accidents. These two were picked because they are artistic in nature, and I really like that. We have a couple kids that are really artistic. They like to draw, they like to learn art skills. So this brings that into a game, whereas a dice game or a card game doesn't have this element. And as far as education goes, this one I love, Happy Little Accidents, because it allows the kids to take a problem and fix it. Because it says, here's the little doodle that you have, now you have to turn it into something else. So take these 3 lines and turn it into a pirate ship. That's really great creative thinking, and I love that. Doodle Dash, I really like it, again, mostly for the creative outlet, and you have to really think outside the box a little bit with this, and so that's really good for kids. So those are our 2 art-focused games. I kind of have a set of games that are really great long-term problem solving, long-term thinking. Skyjo, Push, and No Thanks. These 3 card games, you have to think, the decision I'm making right now, how is that gonna affect me in the future? So each of these games require you to take the information you have, make the best choice with it, because once you've made that choice in these particular games, it's hard to change it in the future. So I like the idea of thinking, this is what I have, this is the cards that I have been dealt right now, how am I gonna best use them? So really like these 3 games for that. Kind of in the same realm, Phase 10. Phase 10 is one of my favorite games just in general, so it was gonna make the list, but I do believe it has an educational element, because each of the phases you have to think, now what am I gonna do? It's not just like, I have these cards and this is it for the whole game. It's each individual phase, each new round, you have a new problem to solve. And for our kids, that can be kind of challenging, because you get used to solving one problem, now you have to solve another one. So allowing your brain to switch problem solving, like the focus of your problem really quickly, is really great for our kids to learn how to do that. And then a few other games that I really love. Yahtzee is fantastic. When we play Yahtzee, when we started to play, I was super helpful with the kids and telling them, hey, here's the dice you have, now what can you do with that? You can take, if you have 2 4s, maybe go for your 4s or something, or whatever. But now that our kids have played it for a while, they have to decide, what am I gonna do with these dice? And that's, again, very similar to Phase 10, except it's dice and it's much smaller. So I love that idea. And also it's nice to have Yahtzee dice for other things. So Yahtzee makes the list for its problem solving abilities as well. Clue, this is a tricky one. If you have younger kids, this is not gonna be maybe a game to start out with, because it's a tricky game. You are problem solving on a whole new level. You have to think way in advance. You have to take a lot of information at once, but for the ages our kids are, that is a great exercise for their brain. So I love that. Listography, love this one. How it works is it'll say something like, make a list of 10 items that are in your refrigerator. So everyone has to make a list of 10 things, but you can only match items with one other person, and then you get a point for each thing you match with one person. And they have different types of lists that you make. And I love this because, one, if whatever you're making the list of, you have to think. But then you also have to think, okay, if I'm trying to match only one other person, what is one thing that maybe one other person would write down? Or if I have to match no one, what is something that's crazy unique that no one else is gonna think of? Love this game. It's a little big and bulky. So if you are watching this and you're a full-time traveler, then I would suggest, just a heads up, I don't think this is super important, personally speaking. I don't know, you could not take this. You could always pick through the cards and just bring select cards, or you could just put these in a Ziploc bag or something. I do think that there's ways to make this one more travel friendly than how we have it right here, but I got kind of lazy when we were packing, so the whole thing just was put in. And the last one is Matchstick. What's it called? Matchstick, I think. Matchmaster. All right, there's a tongue twister, huh? I really like this game. It's very similar to Euchre, if you know Euchre, but it's not teams, it's individual. And this one is tricky for me even with how your brain has to process the information you have. And so if something's going to be tricky for the brain of a woman in her 30s, you know it's going to be challenging for our kids. And I think our kids being given these games and have to think creatively how to solve a problem, it helps them learn, hey, when I'm faced with a problem in life, there's a creative way to solve it. And so those are some of my favorite games, and why I think when we help our kids connect, hey, you were able to solve this problem in a game by thinking creatively, you can solve it in life by thinking creatively. I love that. So those are just some of my suggestions.
If you thought this video was helpful, then subscribe, smash that like button, and hit the notification bell.